I'll get to this coming up in a little bit there, but there's numerology going on with the Lakers and Danny Hurley and J.J. Redick, so we'll have that for you coming up here in a little bit. 2 hours ago, we talked to Geno Auriemma before we started our show live, and we wanted to talk to him. He signed a contract extension, had some things to say about Caitlyn Clark, and then, of course, the Danny Hurley story falls into our lap. So I taped the Geno interview, and this is it in its entirety, has not been edited, and it's just Geno being Geno after signing a 5-year contract extension to stay as the head coach of the UConn women. And I started the interview by asking Geno his reaction to the Danny Hurley to the Lakers.
You know, this is really funny because I happened to be at a thing with him last night. And I have no idea what's going on. You know, I have no idea where this is going and what's happening. But I said, just leaned over and I said, hey, I think you can win a lot of championships with the Lakers, more so than a guy who's never coached. And he just looked at me and, nodded, and we had a good laugh. And then this morning I wake up and voila. So I don't know what's going on. And it'd be a bad day for UConn for sure if this happens. And it would be a great day for Dan Hurley, and I'm sure a bittersweet day for Dan Hurley.
Okay. Now, you're being serious that you did bring this up to him last night about the Lakers, John?
Out of nowhere, I just leaned over and I said, I don't know why it came to me. I don't know why, but I said it. And if you ask him, he'll tell you. And I had no idea. And I woke up this morning and somebody sent it to me and I went, you got to be kidding me.
I know that he's talked about not going to another college job, that if he does go down the road when he thinks he's mature enough to coach in the NBA, this happened a lot quicker. But I'm wondering the state of college basketball, certainly men's college basketball, Geno, does that make this decision a little bit more, I guess, palatable or easier when you think about him wanting to go to coach the NBA instead of trying to go for a three-peat?
All those are true. I think the state of college basketball is a mess. If anybody could manage it, though, it would be Danny, because he coaches this program like it's a high school program, like he coached the St. Benedict's. Their player development program is second to none. But I do think that being at UConn and given the state of college basketball and the amount of money now it's going to take to be able to put together a national championship team every single year, I think, and without knowing where it's going, it's a charade. It's this idea of student athlete welfare. Every single thing that comes out of the NCAA's mouth about student athlete welfare, mental, it's bullshit. That has no factor ever anymore. And I never want to hear anybody utter those words associated with college basketball. They are professional athletes, just not called that. So you might as well go coach professional athletes where it's real. Now, if Danny were to leave and somebody said to me, he just took this NBA job, I won't name any particular city, I would say, you're set up for failure. But it's the Lakers. And if I don't know the details of it, but if you're saying, hey, I want a 10-year deal, I want the same deal Brad Stevens got at Boston.
It might be more than that.
Well, then you know what? Hey, Andrea's wife might not like me, but it's crazy if he doesn't take it.
But that's what surprised me, though, Geno, is he's an East Coast guy.
Yeah.
And he'd have to convince her to go out, to Rodeo Drive. Yeah.
Well, that part she might not argue with. And maybe all the other parts she might have a problem with. But yeah, it's a huge family. It's a huge family decision. No question about it.
How many offers have you had in, let's say, the last 15 years, 10 years?
Well, they all came too late, but, 1, 2, 3, 4 total, including, between men's college basketball and NBA stuff.
What was the NBA stuff?
I talked to a couple of people about being an assistant when I thought this game was going where it's going. And I thought, wow, I wish I was younger, because it was at an age where it's like, do I really have it in me to be that and be fair to that for 100 and some games, if you're lucky enough, during the season? And I wouldn't be so pretentious enough to think that I could go from where I am or where I've been coaching women's basketball. And listen, coaching is coaching. I get it. But the distance and the gap, I thought, you know what? If I could be an assistant here for a couple of years, 3-4 years, I think I could do this job. But it just came at the wrong time in my career. But if I come earlier, I would have done it.
Talking to Geno Auriemma, the Hall of Fame head coach with Connecticut, and just signed a 5-year deal. Any talk of retirement when you sat down with the family?
Not yet, no.
So you were signing this extension. There was no, do I want to do it 5 more years?
No, I had already decided that I wanted to. Now, what pisses me off is that if I'd have known that this was happening with Danny, because I think I gave them the old, AARP discount to the university, because I thought they're going to have to pay a lot of money to keep Hurley. Well, if he leaves, I'm going to be pissed, and I'm going to rip up that contract, and I want a new one. And I want some of the money that they were going to give him.
So just call it the Hurley clause. If Hurley leaves, then you want a Hurley clause.
Right. That's right. I'm envisioning the Hurley clause. And this might become, commonplace in college sports.
Now, I don't know if you use it as leverage, but you can always say, hey, I'll just coach the men's team at UConn if you're not going to give me this kind of money.
No, I would never do that. It'd be like moving your shortstop to second base. You'd screw up both programs.
So no talk of retirement. You're going to be, 75 when this is all said and done?
Supposedly, but you know what really motivated me? When Pop signed his new deal.
So but Popovich with Wembanyama, I'm sure he's like, you know what? Let me hang around this guy for a little longer.
Okay, well, I think I got a couple guys in my program that I want to hang around with a couple years long. And I actually, seriously, I when Pop signed his deal, I said, you know what? I'm going to go to my AD and said, I want half of that. He signed for 10 years for $80 million, or 5 years for $80 million. I said, I'll sign 5 years for $20 million. Whatever. Didn't play out that way, but it did. Actually, it did. It played out exactly that way, actually.
Good. I saw where you said the WNBA, they're targeting Caitlyn Clark. What do you mean by how she's being guarded or, enforced?
I think you and I both know the landscape that we live in today, both sports-wise and non-sports-wise, right? We are in a red-blue. And if you're red, you can't agree with blue. And if you're blue, you can't agree with red. Whereas most things are in the middle. If you're a college player and you're a great college player, like Caitlyn was, the delusional fan base that follows her disrespected the WNBA players by saying she's going to go in that league and tear it apart. There were actually odds on she's third or fourth in betting odds on being MVP at the WNBA. These people are so disrespectful and so unknowledgeable and so stupid that it gives women's basketball a bad name. Okay, so the kid was set up for failure right from the beginning. So if you're a WNBA player, and believe me, I've coached the best, and I've pissed them off a lot, and they let me know about it, but they were tremendously disrespected. And none of them were going to say it. But human nature is, okay, this kid's coming into the league. And Diana said it best. This kid's in for a rude awakening. And they all jumped over her, but they didn't read the whole thing that she said. But nobody's printing. Diana Taurasi was right. This kid's on the wrong team. She's got the wrong skill set to handle the physicality of that league. And she's a rookie. And if you're a WNBA player, if you're any kind of player, you're going to say, I'm going to make a statement. Targeted by society, targeted by her looks, targeted by her reputation, targeted by the disrespect that they've shown to the WNBA. There's a huge target on this kid's back. I thought Cameron Brink said something really smart. She said, no, they're expecting this rookie class to be perfect. This rookie class isn't even one of the best rookie classes in the last 10 years.